section 1, test 3, section 1, right? See, uh, correct letters A to E, right? Nota bene, you may use any letter more than once, right? So there are 6 statements and you can use them more than once because there are only 5 passages or 5 paragraphs. Okay, first of all, let's start with this. There is little shade. There are some steep sections. Steep એટલે ઢલાન વાળા એકદમ ધાર એકદમ ઊંડી હોય. There is a choice of route અથવા the route on this walk. There is a special site શેના માટે for watching wildlife. Dogs must not be allowed to run freely. બરાબર, related to dogs. Sit down in several places. Okay, now let's come here. Grove Mill. Take either the yellow path or blue path, right? 2 choices. Both eventually come out at the old water mill and are at about the same level of difficulty. There is a shallow stream which runs alongside the yellow path. Dogs enjoy a swim here if it's hot, and there are trees to help you keep cool while you wait, right? There is very little shade. No, અહીંયા તો છે બરાબર. અહીંયા તો પેલું છે very wait. Some steep sections, right? નહીં, route on this walk બરાબર. 2 paths બરાબર, blue path and you blue path, right? So that will be 3, right? Right, follow the marker post carefully as you make way through some dense forest. If you take a wrong turn, as walkers often do, your walk could end up being a lot longer than you expected. The sun may be shining, but there is plenty of damp undergrowth. Damp એટલે ભેજવાળું, undergrowth એટલે નાનું ઘાસ ને બધું ગયું હોય. So wear a tough pair of hiking boots if you don't want your feet to get wet. It isn't advisable to take small dogs on this trail. બરાબર. See, advisable નથી, but ખ્યાલ નથી. Follow the marker post carefully as you make the way through some dense forest. ગાઢ જંગલ છે, right? There is steep section, wrong turn, walkers only walk. There is a choice of route. No, very little shade. Maybe shining. But there is plenty of damage. Also wear a tough pair of hiking if you don't want your feet to get wet. Some dense. Follow the marker post carefully as you make your way through some dense forest. If you take a wrong turn, walker offended, your walk could end up being a lot longer than you expected. The sun may be shining, but there is plenty of damp. Okay, we don't know. There is no option over here. Like, fun way. The route is winding but fairly flat. બરાબર, સીધો છે. Doesn't require any special footwear or any equipment. It is accessed by a gate with a strong bolt to keep sheep and cows in the field. The path is lined on both sides by firs and some majestic redwoods that date back to the 19th century. There are benches along the way where you can rest and admire the beauty, right? You can sit down, you can places, બરાબર. Sit down. Okay, special site નહીં, મતલબ benches છે બધી. હા, બરાબર. 6. Okay. Bay Red Valley. Be prepared to go up and down a bit on this route. First section is uphill. Uphill એટલે આમ ઢલાન છે, ઉપર ચડવાનું. Then the path flattens out, but not for long, so you need to be fairly fit. The exercise is worth it, though, as there are some spectacular views. બહુ special views છે across the valley. There is a viewing platform, એક એવું special જગ્યા છે, from which you may be lucky enough to see one of the herd એટલે ટોળું deer, હરણ that roam the area, right? તો જો એક section છે special site for watching wildlife, એમાં 4B આવશે. અને બીજું શું છે? There are some steep sections, બરાબર. The first section એ થોડું ડાઉટફુલ છે, બટ ચલો જોઈએ છે, બરાબર. ચલો પછી શું છે? બ્રાઉન વોટર ટ્રેલ. બ્રાઉન વોટર ટ્રેલ A circular path will take you past trees and plant species from around the world that are cared for by a dedicated team of volunteers. If you bring your dog, keep it on a lead. બરાબર બાંધીને રાખો as the smaller shrubs can easily be destroyed. બરાબર ડોગને અહીંયા બાંધી રાખવાનું છે. It's not allowed to run freely. એટલે 5 નંબર આવશે અહીંયા. બરાબર 5. Shade. Self is open and unprotected, so sure to wear a hat. બરાબર very little shade. અહીંયા બહુ ઓછો છાંયડો છે. લાસ્ટ જે છે the part itself is open, ખુલ્લો છે and unprotected, so it's sure to wear a hat or you could get sunburnt because there is a lot. બરાબર એમાં 1 બી આવશે. હવે કયું બાકી છે? પતી ગયું બધાનું આવી ગયું રાઈટ. Now, okay, let's finish the next section and then we will see the answer. Poppy properties. True false not given. Sally Hanu Goldie is still renting a property. Still renting a property with Poppy properties. Sally Hanu Goldie was the first person to view the flat. Sally made a quick decision to rent the property. The flat was on a lower level than Sally had expected. Lily's behavior towards Sally changed over time. The flat that Sally rented from Poppy Properties was unfurnished. Sally employed someone to clean her carpets, and the landlord raised Sally's rent while she was living in the flat. Right? Okay. Now, first one is Sally Hanu Goldie is still renting a property. Poppy Properties. I have had a terrible experience with Poppy Properties, and as an ex-tenant, બરાબર જૂનો ભાડવા છું, I advise you to go elsewhere if you want to rent or buy property, as I have done now. હું બીજે જતો રહ્યો છું. When I initially viewed my Poppy Property, right? Okay, see, first of all, read the title, Poppy Properties, review by Sally Hanu Goldie. This is written, this is a review by Sally Hanu Goldie, right? So that means she is saying that I have gone elsewhere. Barabar, I advise you to go elsewhere if you want to rent or buy a property. So Sally Hanu Goldie is still renting a property with Poppy Properties. That is false. First statement is like she is still renting, but she is not renting. She has gone elsewhere. When I initially viewed my Poppy Property flats, I was accompanied by Lily Egerton, right? Two staff who run the company. Sally Hanu Goldie was the first person to view the flat. I was okay. The flat was located close to the office where I have been working for the past year. So I went there before the working day had been. I knew immediately that it was the right property for me because of the convenient location, and a few days later I paid the deposit. Okay. So Sally Hanu Goldie was the first person to view the flat. It is not given. Season, barabar. I knew immediately that I was the right person because of the convenient location, and a few days later I paid the deposit and first 2 months rent. Right? Sally made a quick decision to rent the property. This is tricky. I went there before working. I knew immediately. So she knew, but the decision she made, but the payment was done after some time. Right? Because okay, I think it should be immediately. Yes, to rent. Yes, true. Maybe I am wrong. On a lower level than Sally had expected. The flat was on 12th floor, which I admit She expected that was a surprise to me, as I thought it was lower when I first read about it. Uh, which I admit was a surprise, as I thought it was lower. No, Sally expected, false. First, she thought that it was lower. Sally changed over time. I first read about, but Lily was very encouraging, and I felt confident that I was making the right choice. At this point, she was professional and kind. But once I had moved into property, I discovered that she was far less approachable than she had been. Right, so her behavior changed over time. Right, true. The flat that Sally rented from Poppy Properties was unfurnished. Sally employed someone to clean her. Sorry, unfurnished. Right? She had during the video, I tried to contact her. She was at start of my tenancy. A number of issues were unsatisfactory. As a new tenant, you have right to expect your flat to be clean. In fact, carpet should be professionally cleaned. But mine had not been even hoovered. I had hoped that this addressed quickly, but nothing happened. Similarly, the oven worked okay. The company did nothing, so I avoided. Okay. So, yes, not given. Sally employed someone to clean her carpets. I had, in fact, carpet should be professionally cleaned, but mine had not even been hoovered. I had hoped that this promise should be, but nothing happened, so I did the job myself. Right? So she did it herself. This is false. The landlord raised Sally's rent while she was living in the flat. Several asked to sit too longer, but it was not possible. No one should have to put up with these problems, particularly when people charge such high rents. But uh, she raised, it is not given. They charge high rents, but they raised after this Sally rented it. It is not given, right? So let's take a look at the answers, right? This is reading test paper 3, right? Uh, section 1. Okay, first question, right? E, then D, then A, then D, E, and C. Now the 7th, it's false, not given, true, false, true, not given, false, not given. So all are correct, right? So this is great.